It is often said that you should not teach rich people how to spend money, typically like this girl. Just because she wanted to be quiet during dinner, she surrounded the whole restaurant. On the other side, a male student showed interest in the newly launched model, immediately closed the order to own his brother. The employee wondered where to get the money for such a student. He immediately pulled out his parents' power card. Another male student gave his girlfriend a shirt of nearly 3 million won. She didn't dare to accept it because the gift was too luxurious for her. Just because of that refusal, he coldly threw it in the trash. All had in common that they were attending a slippery aristocratic school. They are warm boys who were born with gold slices. In this school, Bak Jena is the most powerful female student, the lady of one of Korea's largest technology corporations. Today, she was reprimanded by her teacher for sedition, lies and violence against poor students in the school. The teacher asked Jenna if she wanted to defend her actions, but she smiled contemptuously and looked at him with only half an eye. Soon after, many other male nuns rushed in wanting to confess on Jenna's behalf. Next, she said provocative words to her teacher. "The computer you are using is from your house. Do you want me to exchange it for something newer? If this school is for nobles, then you are that royalty." With Jenna's glorious and arrogant face, the teacher could only shake his head in disgust because he couldn't do anything more. In contrast to that glamour Hein, our heroine, the family is in a difficult situation and is attending a normal school. Hein surfed social networks and saw that people talked about the school a lot. Although she enjoyed studying there, this was just a dream for her. 1 year's tuition there is 100 million won, the money that she couldn't earn in her whole life. Today Hein pretended to be her grandmother to show her meaning to apply. Her task is to tutor a female biochemist. Her family wants to send her child to a slippery school. Looking at the luxurious house, she couldn't help but be surprised. The parent sits and talks about the elegance of the cakes. Hein held it in his hand so shyly that he didn't dare to eat it. She instructs Hein on what to do, and she will have her first lesson tomorrow. Immediately afterwards, Hein rushed to the convenience store, where she is working part-time to earn money to cover tuition fees. She brought the student card back to Ms. Cunia. Along with that are gifts because today I have successfully applied. Hein's life was already tragic, but this sister was more than that. Just like that, the two pieces of life sat together and talked about everything. The next morning, the teacher informed Hein that the school would cut off her English scholarship. "He is very sympathetic to my situation, but now there is another student who is even more difficult than me." Hein repeatedly protested about it. Someone else who is more difficult than her doesn't mean her life will be better. Hein walked away in a daze, thinking about the amount of 3 million troops to pay. These two friends invited Hein to join the group in the upcoming English class, but she immediately refused. Hein didn't know where to earn money to pay the tuition fees, even though that was her previous plan. Since then, the dream of studying abroad has also disappeared with Hein. That day she had her first tutoring session. Najeon didn't bother to study but took selfies. She will post it on Instagram to show off to people about these expensive items. Najeon brought 2 bags, one basic and the other high-end. She asked Hein which one was prettier, but Hein thought it was no different, until she saw the bill of 3 million troops that made her panic. It was almost the same amount of money for Hein to study abroad. Hein checkmarked Najeon about that waste. "If it were me, I wouldn't spend money on those things." Immediately afterwards, Najeon tested the teacher. The little girl who said she would give Hein this expensive bag made her feel confused. After a while of psychological struggle, Hein wanted to take it, but that's just Najeon's trick. Najeon said that poor people are always stubborn that they don't want something, but in fact it is because they cannot afford to buy it. That inadvertent word made Hein feel hurt. Returning to the grocery store, Hein thought about Najeon's words. She felt that this life was so unfair. The excited sister said that she realized it now, and advised her to accept that injustice. Hein continued as a tutor. Najeon will come home a little late today, taking advantage of the time when Najeon didn't come back. She went to explore everything around her. Hein looked at that expensive bag for a long time and then took it out to try it on himself. After that, She also took out her phone to take a few selfies and posted them on her Instagram, with a note that I don't know why people find it beautiful anymore. At that time, Najan had just returned home. Hain quickly put it in its place, and just as if nothing had happened. The next day, when I came to class, I felt that my classmates were looking at me with different eyes. She still didn't understand what was happening. Friends who wonder about Hain's situation, they realized that the bag she took yesterday was not normal. After that, Hain checked his Instagram account again. Inside there were many people commenting on the bag. They are jealous of Hain's rich life. Just like that, the number of likes, comments, and followers gradually increased. The classmates wanted to ask about the true identity of the Hain family. Faced with that situation, she lied that she was really the child of a rich family. That very afternoon, Hain ran to Najan's house, even though it was still a long way from starting. Hain came to take pictures of other luxury items because if he lied, he had to do it until the end. The next day, the girls were jealous of what Hain had. The bags, clothes, or shoes are all high-end goods. They wonder why you don't wear that to school. Hain said bluntly that since he was a child, he had never used his parents' money. I earn my own money to spend. I work part-time at a convenience store and even tutor a good student. On the other side, another friend asked about where he got those branded items. Hain immediately replied, eating, dressing, and other basic things are naturally helped by her parents. Bringing things your parents bought to school is not something to be proud of. With all the expensive things, I am also afraid of losing it. Just like that, the girls believed what Hain said. They felt admiration for what she did. This friend revealed that if his account has 10,000 followers, then you can get a lot of money from advertising. A guy who could earn 34 million troops. From here, Hain thought of an idea. On the other side of the English class, Bak Jenna was sleeping in class without listening to the teacher. The teacher asked the other friends to wake Jenna up, but no one dared to do it. The teacher angrily came over to call Jenna up. She knew that everyone in this class was a rich child, but at least you have to keep the minimum of courtesy. Immediately afterwards, Jenna read a line of English like a native speaker. Then she told the teacher that her pronunciation was extremely boring. Even the minimum ability is not there, but ask for polite permission. Don't cross the line, and then Jenna goes back to sleep. The teacher went to Najan's house, taking advantage of the time when Najan had not returned. Hain continued to wear Najan's clothes and posted them on social media. She wants to increase her followers to 10,000, but waiting to reach that milestone was too long. She wanted to do something more breakthrough. Hain sneaks into the hostess room. Inside are a lot of luxury items that overwhelm her. At that moment, the maid walked away and made Hain feel confused. She lied that she was looking for a toilet. Then she saw that the uniform of the aristocratic school was slippery, prepared in advance for his daughter. Hain took it and brought it back to his room to try it on. Looking at herself in the mirror, she felt that she was nothing more than a prestigious young lady. After that, she continued to take pictures and post them on social networks, feeling jealous of little Najan. Just as Najan had returned home, Hain took off his uniform in a panic but couldn't keep up. She quickly hid under the bed. Suddenly Najan heard the ringing of teacher Hain's phone. Inside there are a lot of notifications on the Instagram page. Najan was feverish when he found out that Hain was wearing his uniform to take pictures. Along with that, there are many other images taken in this room itself. Soon Hain had to come out from under the bed to confess. Here Najan also knows that Hain is not a teacher at all. I'm just a high school student and 2 years older than me. Hain repeatedly apologized for those actions. Najan demanded to sue her for pretending to be a teacher. After a while of pleading and begging, Najan also agreed to forgive. But with that comes the conditions. In the days that followed, Hain made an errand for Najan. She did all the things that little Najan asked. In addition, Hain had to complete a bunch of homework for Najan. One day Najan called Hain. She said that she had forgotten the documents for the interview. She cried and demanded that Hain go to her house to get it. Hain felt awkward when his midterm exam was about to start. On the other side, Najan threatened to fail the entrance exam. Then she will reveal everything about Hain to her mother. Faced with that situation, Hain was forced to skip the exam. She immediately ran to Najan's house to get the documents. But when she ran to the slippery school, she felt that it was just a joke. On this side, Najon was speaking ill of her, despising her poor life. Najon took the document in his hand but then threw it away in the trash. Haynes stood in front of that image. She went to the toilet crying loudly to clear everything. This life was really too unfair to her, to people in the lower classes. Immediately afterwards, a female student gave Haynes a hair tie. This girl is also a victim of inequality in this prestigious school. Disadvantaged people are always squeezed when entering here and are the focus of all jokes. From here on, Haynes' rage also began. During the presentation to enter Najon's slippery school, Haynes coldly appeared with a bucket of water in his hand. She immediately walked towards Najon and poured water on her head. Haynes said that, after all, there must be a bit of personality in him. After learning that Najon's mother was there, she poured everything on Haynes' head. When she ruined her daughter's slippery school interview. At that time, the president of the school was also present. He asked Najon's mother to make trouble, so he left the school and the company did it. Najon's mother kept explaining about this time. It was my daughter who was the victim in this case. The president said that the incident in that interview would affect Najon's admission results. This made the mother and daughter even angrier with Haynes. They want to sue her in court about this. Soon after, this news also reached the school that Haynes was attending. If the mixing of clothes is true, the school will expel her. Haynes wonders what's wrong with mixing. At this point, she realized that it was Najon who denounced her. About the items that she posted on Instagram, Haynes returned to his room in front of everyone's chatter. They thought she was a fraud, who had no conscience. Haynes immediately locked his Instagram account, but he still hasn't used it again. The insults against her are all over social networks, which is to take people's clothes, book bags, and houses to play the role of wealth. She constantly received everyone's contemptuous eyes. Then there are the threatening messages from Najon again. That day, Haynes found the president of the school. She apologized for the incident at the entrance interview. She came here to ask the school to consider Najon's case. She tearfully begged the president to let Najon be enrolled. Otherwise, Najon's family would never forgive her, and the fact that she will be expelled from school soon after. But the president said that it was only with your tears that I let Najon enroll. What do I get? Money or fame? No matter how hard you try, you can't change anything. Haynes left disappointed. She thought of her dark prospect ahead. This student was sitting smoking in the women's toilet when Haynes suddenly walked in. She sat there crying for a long time, making it impossible for him to escape. After a while, he crept out when he was caught by Haynes. She grabbed him because she thought he was a pervert. She was going to call the police, but he explained that he came here to smoke. Here the two also recognized each other, because a few days ago, she brought some water to this friend's front to ask about the interview room. That evening Haynes wanted to see the president so that he could ask again. This friend pointed to the red sports car that belonged to the chairman. He also advised Haynes not to do useless things anymore. It won't change anything. He then said goodbye to Haynes to leave her alone. The president left the school, but he stepped back into the black car. The friend forgot to mention to Haynes that he had 2 cars. Hours passed like that and I didn't see him leave. She was startled when it was 2 a.m. Haynes went to check the car but found no one. She walked silently when suddenly something came down from above. Haynes panicked when she found out that it was a schoolgirl. She felt that there was someone else on the rooftop. Haynes also realized that this was the girl who gave him a hair tie a few days ago. Seeing that she was still breathing, Haynes immediately called for help in the middle of the night. Soon after, the other girl was taken to the hospital in critical condition. On the other side, the president of the school received that shocking news. The head of this department said that he had deleted all the security cameras. It seems that the little girl did not have to commit suicide. The president said that it was just a student with equal opportunities. He asked the head of the department to make arrangements as if the girl had committed suicide due to academic stress. But the obstacle is that there is one more witness. When he learned that the witness was Haynes, the chairman immediately thought of an idea in his mind. That morning, Najon's mother found Haynes. She thanked Haynes for making the school president so infectious. She asked Haynes how he got Najon into such a smooth school. Hain was surprised because he didn't understand anything. Najon's mother promised to withdraw the lawsuit and even brought the fruit to give to Hain. When she returned home, she received a message from the president, and then she immediately called him. He let Hain transfer schools to a slippery slope. It seemed as if he wanted to silence the only witness in that haunting night. The next day when he arrived at class, Hain was still under everyone's scornful eyes, but today was also the last day that Hain studied here. She took the briefcase and left. She would move to a prestigious and slippery school. That evening she went to the convenience store to ask for her resignation. She excitedly asked if it was necessary to quit her part-time job. Hain said that no one who went to school had to work part-time. From now on, you have to treat it properly. The sister said that there was something terrible there, but Hain refutes this. There are many scholarships for students. Hain thought of a bright future prospect, but she didn't know that the coming days were the darkest days of her life. The very next morning, the president's men came to Hain's house, and they gave her the school uniform. She put it on and started a new life. She went to the mall to buy a pair of shoes worthy of this uniform. The money she had accumulated for a long time was only enough to buy those expensive shoes. Although it is wasteful, it is worthy of her current state of mind. On the way back, a stranger came to her right. The person picked up the shoe bag for her, apologized, and left. Hain went to the toilet to check his shoes. Thankfully they were okay. Then she saw a small piece of paper, inside of which said something that startled her. Hain remembered the girl who had just bumped into him at this time, and she ran out to look for that person but was nowhere to be found. The girl was standing upstairs and watching Hain. Soon after, Hain realized that she had forgotten her shoes, and she went back but found them no more. At that moment, Jenna walked in with the same pair of shoes she had just bought, and Hain came over to ask about it. Jenna saw her school uniform, and she asked Hain if she didn't know who I was. "You two are new students. I'm not in a good mood today, so I'm gonna skip it." Jenna throws a tissue at Hain's face, making her mad, and she pulls Jenna's hair to teach her a lesson. After that, the two rushed into each other, but how could Jenna win against Hain? She coldly took off the shoes from Jenna's feet. Hain returns home happy with her dream shoes, but she doesn't know what Jenna lacks money to take her shoes. On the other side, Jenna returned with a pitiful appearance, limping and her eyebrows full of injuries. On this side, the son of the school president went to his father's room to open the iron knot, but he struggled for a long time and still couldn't open it. He accidentally saw the profile of the new student Hain. He was curious about that familiar name. The next morning, Hain was excited that today was her first day of school, and here she met the perverted guy from the day before. While the two were chatting, Seo Dune, the son of the president of Trandam School, appeared. He pulled Hain outside to talk even though the two of them didn't know each other. Dune tells Hain that if you have any problems, just call me. Then the two exchanged phone numbers with each other. Then Dune asked permission to go first. While Hain was staring at Dune's personal page, a girl bumped into Hain. At that moment, it was the same person who hit her in the mall, and Hain felt strange about this. Hain opened her personal closet. She was feverish when inside was her shoes that had been stolen earlier. Accompanied by a welcome message to hell, Hain still couldn't understand what was going on. Soon after, she was bored by these rich children to ask questions. And before that, Jenna had issued a notice to trace her identity. They were all curious about Hain. They wanted to know what kind of person she was who dared to beat the queen of this school. The group went to deal with Hain, but thankfully she quickly escaped. Behind them, who were still chasing her, Hain immediately ran into the president's room. She asked him about this so-called false equal opportunity. Who did you have to come in after all? She kept asking him to take responsibility. He said that this school is not for anyone who wants to enter. If you want me to be able to take you back to your old school, but Hain doesn't want to leave. She just wants you to protect me in this situation. He said that he was only responsible for bringing me in, and whether he wanted to stay or leave was all up to me. Hain climbed through the window to escape, but also did not escape Jenna's hands. You said that you know who I am now? Soon after, a crowd came to borrow around Hain. Jenna grabbed Hain by the collar and threatened her, but Hain wasn't medium. She slammed her head into the face of the queen of this school, then continued to run away. Running to the end of the road, there was no way out. Luckily, there was a girl who dragged Hayne into the painting room. Seeing Hayne walking on her feet, Cyan immediately gave Hayne a pair of shoes to walk temporarily. After a while, Hayne wanted to leave because he was afraid that the group of people who came to him would affect Cyan. Hayne had just walked out of the room when Soon smiled mysteriously. Running outside, she was blocked by these two groups of people at both ends, and Hayne had no way to escape. She pulled out her phone to record these images, then threatened to report the act of school violence to the police. But they didn't care what she was saying, they even challenged her to just do it. Hayne immediately jumped down from upstairs, causing everyone to panic, and Dune was there in time to hug her. Dune shows concern for Hayne, and he also apologizes to her on behalf of those people. Dune took out a personal bandage and refried her wounds. Looking at those images, Hayne's heart began to vibrate. She thought of the scene of Cinderella and the prince in the legend. Dune interrupted that line of thought with the question, who killed Kim Hayne? Who pushed her down from the rooftop? Hayne said that if I reveal it to you, how will you help me? In the days that followed, Dune always drove Hayne to school, both hand in hand like lovers. Speaking as a love contract, Dune wants to know who harmed his girlfriend, and Hayne wants someone to protect her in this school of inequality. These girls are also curious about the relationship between the two. Hayne doesn't hesitate to say that he and Dune are dating. On the other side, Dune's friends have the same question, and he also admits that it is true. Immediately afterwards, these girls suddenly wanted to befriend Hayne, and they turned around faster than their ex-lovers. This girl revealed to Hayne that this Friday there will be a girls' party, which is a place for prestigious girls to socialize. Hayne thinks he is not qualified to participate, but they refute it. Now that you're Dune's lover, you have enough prestige to participate in that party. Hayne told this story to her dear sister, who advised her to join the party. But Hayne now had no fancy dress to bargain for, and she immediately thought of little Najon. The next day, the two of them made an appointment to meet Najon to borrow a dress for the party, and she agreed, but with one condition. I want Hayne to tell me the details of that party after attending and remember to keep it clean and return it. That night, Hayne came to the party like a lady, holding a glass of wine in her hand before she could put it to her mouth. Then the friend behind deliberately pushed Hayne down. Another friend held out her hand to help her up, and at that moment Jenna walked in, making all eyes turn to her. On this side, the friend deliberately let go of Hayne to fall again. The expensive dress was dirty, making Hayne feel panicked. Immediately afterwards, Jenna approached, and she coldly poured a bottle of wine on the expensive dress that Hayne had borrowed. Everyone around her was excited and praised Jenna's coolness, and Hayne still didn't know what was going on. Jenna said that she thought dating Dunn was a life-changing thing. Please know your duty to help me. Jenna constantly insults Hayne's poor status because this is not where she belongs. After those words, Hayne was so angry that she was about to rush in to move her hands and feet with Jenna, but these two guards stopped her. They then took her out to Jenna's gloating. The next morning, because Najon's dress was dirty, Hayne intends to ask his father for money to compensate her. The father also did not bother to withdraw the visa because he had just received his salary. But when Hayne hesitated to say the amount of 8 million won, the whole family fell to the ground. Immediately afterwards, she ran into the room and locked the door, even though her brother was only talking about it outside. I don't even have 8 pocket money. But now you dare to open your mouth and ask for 8 million won. After entering that international school, you were so stupid that you ran out of medicine. On the other side, Jenna is having dinner with her father and mistress. She reveals to Jenna that she is pregnant. We are about to become a family. Hearing this, Jenna felt very uncomfortable, and she left the meal angrily. Jenna went to her biological mother, and after being abandoned by her husband, she became depressed, immersed in drunkenness all day. Jenna blamed her mother, who was being treated, had to take medication and still drank alcohol. But now she had nothing to lose. Thanks to her, her husband was able to climb that position, and yet he unintentionally abandoned her. The next morning, Dawn went to Jenna to tell her about her actions towards Hayne, who advised her to stop doing those baby buffalo pranks. Jenna also understood that Dune was not only talking about Hayne's affairs, but also the things she had treated his lover in the past. As friends for the past 18 years, Jenna also made it clear to Dawn that people of his status would never live happily with those poor people. They just wanted to take advantage of him to change his identity and abandon him. It was the way her father had treated her mother. That night, Soman saw the video between Hayne and Jenna on social media, just at the right time when Hayne was in a hurry and ran by. She wants to sell and used items to make money to compensate Najon for the dress. Soman thinks Hayne has been deceived by him, so she rushes to protect her. He grabbed the other guy by the collar and said a threatening word while still not understanding the end of the story. The other side of the story tried to explain to him that I just wanted to sell these things. Soman's face was really dirty after that, and Hayne shook his head in disgust. As soon as the sale was finished, Hayne was still angry because of Soman's presence that she had to sell for 50,000 cheaper. She knew that money was nothing to people like him, but it was different to her. Hayne doesn't know what his life will be like if he doesn't earn 8 million won. Soman constantly apologizes because the situation is very misunderstood. Then he took Hayne home, and she half-jokingly said that it would be cooler if he lent me 8 million won instead of taking me home. Hayne wondered if he was the son of a rich family. Soman said that my family is not inferior to the children in the world. She was jealous of Soman's life, but he wasn't really happy about it. Returning home, Hayne looks for a lot of part-time jobs, but there is no suitable place for him. The next morning, Hayne met Jenna again, where the two exchanged words. Hayne thinks that people who have not lacked anything since childhood like him have to cling to someone who has nothing like me. Even mad because of me, you're pouring a lot of time and energy into me. If you change the hourly wage, maybe a whole bunch of money. If I'm a slacking parasite, then you should ignore me, but Jenna can't ignore it so easily. She gives Hayne a week to think about dropping out of school, and she promises to pay a generous amount of money so that Hayne can compensate for the dress. It was here that Hayne found out that the dress she borrowed, it was Jenna who gave it to Najon. Hayne stood stunned by this situation. She didn't know where to get that money and didn't want to miss school. The next day at the bus stop, Jenna stopped by again, and she signaled to Hayne that she had 6 days left to think about it. Next, Dune wants to meet Hayne to talk, and he blames her for coming to a party that doesn't belong to him like that. In this school, a person like you must know how to be silent, close your eyes and live quietly. Here he wanted to know who the person who pushed his lover on the rooftop was. After a moment of silence, Hayne agreed to say that if he would give her some money. Dune felt annoyed by that statement. Dune compared Hayne to not equal a toe of his lover. They are both students with equal education, but she has never once been thanks to the dollar. Immediately Hayne wanted to get off the bus, and Hayne told Dune that I had signed a contract with his father to keep it a secret. Here Hayne also revealed that he did not see the perpetrator's face clearly. She only saw the shadow, and it was a girl. At the same time, she also said that in this school, if you keep silent, you will live well. So why was your lover harmed? A person with a position like you can't protect the girl you like. Before you let her say a word of help, you should take care of her first, right? When she arrived at the school, she dragged Hayne into the art room, and she brought a lot of delicious food to Hayne. Hayne thanked her for this. She felt that Shaun was the only person who was good to her here, but she didn't know that there was a dark conspiracy afterwards. Shaun knew Hayne was struggling to make money to compensate for the dress, so she showed Hayne a way to earn that money. Shaun led Hayne to meet the junior student. Rather, he is a person who gives a heavy interest in this school. Immediately he transferred 3 million won to Hayne. She thanked her fiercely, but then panicked when she found out that every week passed, the amount increased by 2 bulbs. Hayne was confused about this, so he made another suggestion. He would give Hayne that money in return for her to model a photo for him. Hayne has to cosplay strange costumes, but she can only grit her teeth and endure. She gave up all her self-esteem just because of that money. Until the last outfit, he promised to pay Hayne another 5 million, but on the condition that she change it in front of him. After thinking about it for a while, Hayne decided to do it because of the amount of 8 million and because she wants to continue studying at this school. On the other side, Dune goes to the hospital where her lover is still in a coma. He clenched his hands and apologized for not being able to protect her. Dune thought about Hayne's words in the morning. He went into his father's room to see if he could find anything. He checked the security camera that night, but it had already been deleted. He thought his father would find out who the perpetrator was and that he was trying to hide something. That night in the dream, these haunting scenes always appeared in Hayne's mind. While dying, Dune's lover tried to give her a transfer rope. It seems that it was caused by the perpetrator. Hayne wakes up and remembers the transfer rope. She hid this from the police and Dune as well. That's why she knew for sure that the perpetrator was a girl. The next morning, she suddenly met Jenna at school. In front of everyone, she always showed concern and love for Jenna. But when she told the teacher that she wanted to talk to Jenna privately, her face was clear. She said provocative words to Jenna. The baby he was carrying was a boy. He would be the dicton who was tried by the Hanan group. Hearing this, Jenna almost collapsed. Her words seemed to be ringing in her ears. Just in time for Hayne to be there again, she introduces herself as Jenna's friend. On the other side of her, she turned around and said that she would take care of Jenna and take her home, but Hayne stopped her and then she took Jenna away. Hayne sympathizes with the situation that Jenna is in. She said words of comfort, but Jenna didn't like this. Jenna hated the feeling of being overly sympathetic and tried to feel sorry for her. But Hayne didn't come here to comfort Jenna. She took out the amount of 8 million won and threw it directly at Jenna. The money she earns from throwing away her shame and self-esteem to get it. Here Hayne also wants Jenna to leave herself alone. And no matter what happens, she will endure in this school until she graduates. Even if Hayne's life was cheap, she would make it better. Hayne said a stern sentence in front of Jenna. The scariest girl is not the one who has everything in her hands, but the one who has nothing to lose. Jenna understood Hayne's words, because she was not a scary person. She still has her own weaknesses and her family is one of them. From now on, the two of them no longer have a grudge against each other, and Jenna won't bother Hayne anymore. The next day, Hayne felt full of energy in his body. When no one pressed her, there was nothing to annoy her. People are curious about Hayne. They don't know what she did that made Jenna change her mind. She is also the first person to break the law that suppresses students with equal education in this school. Dune wants to meet Hayne to talk. He knows she's hiding something. He didn't force Hayne to report to the police. He just wanted to know the truth about the perpetrator. But Hayne kept saying that he didn't see that person's face. So Dune wants to find out the truth with Hayne. He also wanted the two of them to pretend to date each other. It seems that Dune is suspicious of someone in his mind. Hayne suddenly received a video of her changing clothes in front of the other student. She was really panicked about this. Hayne walked away when Cyan suddenly appeared. Jenna was also nearby and she found it strange that the two were so close. During class, Hayne was always afraid of that video. The teacher named her many times, but she couldn't concentrate. Cyan turned around and wrote on the paper that he was okay. Hayne made a sign that she was fine, but in her mind she couldn't stop thinking about it. Returning home, she remembered the paper that the hidden girl had sent to her at the mall. That person knows that Hayne witnessed the incident that night at school. Suddenly, she saw that the lines of characters on it were exactly what Cyan had just written in the afternoon. Only then did she know that Cyan's approach to her or intimacy with her was a purposeful thing. The girl who bumped into me that day and this letter too, was none other than Cyan. On the other side, Cyan enters the hospital to visit Dune's lover. It was here that her true face was revealed. It seems that it was Cyan who pushed her down from the rooftop. The girl pushed her into the hospital to visit Dune's lover. It seems that it was Cyan who pushed her down from the rooftop. She was the same one who sent the video to Hayne. Cyan wanted to grab the top to threaten Hayne when she witnessed the incident that night. Cyan used to be a big boss at the school, but not long ago her family's corporation went bankrupt. From then on, her school friends began to turn their backs on her. They despised and despised her. Seeing this, Cyan took action against her friend who was trying to keep her family. At that moment, Jenna arrives and stops Cyan. The two used to be very close friends, but now they are different. Jenna slapped her in the face so hard that Cyan was surprised. Jenna reiterated what Cyan once said, "We are only friends when we are on the same level." She whispered in Cyan's ear, "I've been waiting for this moment for a long time." Because of that, Cyan always finds a way to take revenge on Jenna in the future. Today the two met at school. Jenna wondered why he was so attached to Hayne. "If you dare to joke about anything, I will expose all the facts of the past." But Cyan didn't have to tell her to challenge Jenna at the same time. Cyan knows Jenna has no evidence to accuse her of killing Jenna's brother. She also knew that Jenna was no different from her now, because the heir to the Jenna family group is lying in her belly. On the other side, Hayne is looking for his video in the gallery, because she knew that everything was done by Cyan. At the same time that Cyan was also there, she no longer acted in front of Hayne. Cyan admitted that everything was her fault, from the theft of shoes to the letter and even the video of Hayne's head replacement. Cyan also knows that the reason why Hayne was admitted to the school was arranged by the president of Shell, because Hayne was the only one who witnessed the accident. Knowing that Hayne did not see who the perpetrator was, so Cyan wants Hayne to testify to blame Jenna's head. Actually, Jenna was also on the rooftop that day. She went there because of the threat of her Dune girlfriend. Since she knew Jenna's dad was dating a teacher in the school, Dune's girlfriend makes a deal not to reveal this to the outside. Cyan relies on that to confirm that Jenna is the one who did the trick with her. But Hayne didn't think so. She was sure that Jenna was not the culprit. When Cyan asked why, Hayne couldn't explain. Cyan didn't even need to know what the reason was. In short, she wanted Hayne to turn Jenna into a perpetrator. This shocked Hayne, who always said that Cyan was crazy. She warned Cyan never to appear in front of her and not to pretend to be close. Immediately, Cyan showed a video of Hayne's change. Cyan starts threatening to post it on social media. She carelessly played and laughed while Hayne was extremely worried. On the way home, Hayne receives a message from Cyan. She keeps threatening Hayne to do what she says if she doesn't want her life to be ruined. Hayne sees a sign looking for someone to provide information about the Slippery Girls accident. She blamed herself for pretending not to know. From the beginning, choosing to enter the school was Hayne's mistake. Just when Jenna passed by and saw Hayne, she stopped the car. Hayne reproached, "Why you appeared at this time? Please come and come with me." Jenna asked what was wrong, and Hayne headed for the sign. She said that she and Dune's lover were poor people who had to go to this school. She apologized for daring to be greedy without knowing her fate. Jenna said he didn't need to feel sorry for him. She implied that Dune's lover was far from Hayne. "But why are you crying and noisy in no form? You have to grab other people's heads recklessly and hit people, right? He used to say that you have to persevere until you graduate." Hayne felt unfamiliar because of Jenna's kind words. Before leaving, Jenna also advised her to watch out for Cyan. Soon after, Hayne receives a phone call from Cyan, but she doesn't call right away. Hayne calls Dune to ask him for something. The next morning, Hayne and Dune went to the changing room hand in hand. They kicked out their friend Woojin because they both wanted their own space. Immediately, the two rushed to find the video of Hayne's change. She finally found the USB with her name on it. On the other side, Samong received the news that Hayne had found it. He was also taking care of the fat man who filmed that video. Samong made him delete all the videos he had ever taken. With Somang's shame, he didn't dare to cough a word. Returning home, Hayne took out that USB and took it out. She was very surprised that the person in it was not herself but Dune's lover. What's more worth mentioning is that she is in Woojin's arms. The two are exchanging greasy lumps. Hayne was shocked by that. The person Dune has always loved is holding both hands. That guy is also his best friend. Hayne took out the transmission cord and the video. She wondered what had happened in the end and what kind of person he was. The next morning, when he went to school, Hayne met Dune, but she still didn't reveal the video to him. Here, Dune asks her to accompany him to the congratulatory party of Woojin and Juhee. She only knew that she couldn't force herself to agree even if she didn't want to go there. Immediately afterwards, Cyan hid it from Hayne, who wanted to talk privately. In the bathroom, Cyan continued to take out the video to threaten. Hayne begged Cyan to give herself some time to think about it. She wondered if she said that Jenna was the culprit, it would be considered breaking her promise to the president. That means she will be expelled from school. Then Hayne took out the USB and asked Cyan. But Cyan was not surprised by this. It was that video that she was able to grasp Dune's girlfriend. From then on, she was forced to have an appointment with Jenna on the rooftop. In return, the video will be deleted and not distributed. Cyan constantly manipulates Hayne's psychology that it was Jenna who was there and pushed her down from the rooftop. Cyan advised Hayne not to try to find out more. Do what I asked. After Sian had just left, Samong suddenly came out. He explained again that he only came here to smoke. Samong had heard all that conversation between the two of them. He said that Sian was really more formidable than he thought. You can think of a plan or report it to the police. But Hain didn't want that. She didn't want to be kicked out of this school. Samong told Hain, let me teach Sian a lesson. That day, Woojin and Juhi's party also took place. The friends were all present and so was Hain. While everyone is congratulating the most beautiful couple today, Jenna on the other side didn't have the slightest emotion. Because she knows that Woojin and Doon's girlfriend used to sneak out on each other. That is the reason that she always stops this couple. After a while, Doon and Hain went out to enjoy the wind. Hain is still guarding in his heart about his Doon girlfriend's affair. She asked why he thought those things were happening to her. It was obvious that someone was deliberately pushing her down, probably out of hatred. Doon was really curious about that. He thought that his lover was gentle and kind, so what did he do wrong in the end? Hain said that if he didn't fully understand his lover, she only said hidden words but did not reveal everything to Doon. Returning to the party, Hain asks Jenna about Zui's necklace. Jenna said that it was very expensive, and the money was unlikely to have bought it. After a while, Jenna came over to offer the Doon, but he didn't want to, because he always thinks that Jenna is the one who always treats his lover badly. Then the two words went back and forth. She said that just because of a daughter, Doon threw away the friendship of the past 18 years. Jenna was furious when Doon thought she was the one who murdered his girlfriend. And Doon is a protector of his lover. Is poverty a crime worth dying for you? Here Jenna also revealed that Doon's lover used to cheat her money. Jenna pointed at Gujin because he was also a victim of threats by Doon's lover. Everyone around was surprised and didn't understand what was going on. Jenna couldn't take it anymore. She said that Doon's lover used to sleep with Gujin. This made everyone feverish. Jenna immediately left while the two guys Gujin and Doon had a fever. Actually, that day it was Doon's lover who secretly filmed this video. She then sends it to Gujin to blackmail him. Then she made an appointment to meet Jenna on the rooftop. Here Jenna advises her not to play with Doon's love anymore. Because Jenna knew she had slept with Gujin. But she insists that she likes Doon very much. Doon's lover is jealous of what Jenna has. Returning to reality, Jenna found Yuhi to apologize for what happened earlier. She really didn't want to say it, but she couldn't watch her best friend being deceived by Gujin. But Yuhi really knew that it was just that she wanted to hide it. But today Jenna ruined everything. Yuhi coldly left in front of Jenna's divine face. Outside, Hain has something to say to Jenna. Then the two drove to Hain's house. Entering the room, Hain gets the necklace that Doon's girlfriend, while dying, had given it to her. It was at least the necklace that Yuhi was wearing. Both Doon and Sian think Jenna is the culprit. Hain wasn't sure who that person was, but she was sure Jenna wasn't in her mind. That evening after Jenna had just left, Yuhi was present, because she knows Doon's girlfriend is secretly with her lover. The two then had a close encounter. After a while, Yuhi accidentally pushed her down from the rooftop. Yuhi was really upset by that situation. When she looked down, it was also the moment that Hain saw her shadow. The next morning, Hain receives a message from Sian. If Hain doesn't complete the task, she will distribute this video at 12 o'clock tonight. Hain calls Sian to make a new deal. She asks where Sian is so she can go there to talk. Hain wants to reveal who the real culprit is, but unfortunately Sian already knows about it. When she finds out that Sian is at school, Hain hurriedly takes a car there. Over there, Sian started distributing Hain's video. Suddenly someone came from behind and pushed her down. Underneath, Hain is trying to contact Sian but can't. At that moment, Sian's sword suddenly fell from the rooftop. Hain witnesses this horrific scene again twice. After Sian was pushed down by a mysterious person right behind Hain. The police immediately arrived at the scene and Hain was definitely the first suspect in this case. Everyone in the school began to look at the name Osian, who was removed from the Wall of Fame, and the high school president Seo Hegon announced in front of the board of directors. From now on, the high school that covers Mr. Dam will continue to maintain his position even though 2 consecutive murders are committed. Any behavior that lowers the ranks of the school will be handled by him in an intolerant way. During the English lesson, the teacher was suddenly called out and then turned in to call her in. Everyone in the class thought she was the one who killed Cyan. A special insect in the chemist school was always right next to them, despite all the slander. Hayan tried to explain to the inspectors, but they also finished creating the case file this time, making her a real victim in the case of killing Cyan. Arriving at the police station, the inspector investigates that the most recent calls are from the Hayan. He asked why she had come to school that night to see Cyan. She only knew that she had an appointment to meet Cyan and was threatened by that friend's message, so she came. But she wasn't really the culprit. The inspector didn't believe Hayan's words. Ask how she was threatened? Meanwhile, at Junhee's house, the two talk about the murder case and Junhee says that he also wants to kill someone. Zainam asked Junhee suspiciously, but she replied that she had never killed anyone. Meanwhile, in high school, President Hegon gets angry and puts the investigator's notebook on his brother because he misspelled a few sentences. Annoyed, he turned to the two people next to him, hoping that they would guide him. After the other two had just left, Jin Sop informed the president that the family members on Cyan's side didn't want to make a fuss. The police also did not collect anything from the little girl, only thinking that this was a suicide, and Hayan after returning home. She only saw her father discussing with a lawyer how to defend herself in this innocent case. The thought of her father having to withdraw all the house deposit, she also felt tired. The next day, as soon as she arrived at class, Hayan was teased by her classmates because she was considered a special worm in this school. The bully told you to be in the right place like these bugs, right? After saying that, he took a knife along the paper and swiped a line into the nape of his neck, causing Hayan to bleed. As soon as she got out of the toilet, she was bullied again, and the bully stepped on her feet. Asking this kind of pain and you don't feel anything, you must be used to it, right? That is, the water breaks. Hayan slammed the phone on his head and quickly grabbed the fire extinguisher. Spraying these guys without seeing the road makes the distant brother outside look cool when he sees it. To rescue Hayan, this brother quickly drove his chainsaw over, successfully saving Hayan a life. After escaping or realizing that the person who saved her was wearing a school uniform, she asked who this friend was. The brother called Hayan with all kinds of special insect nicknames, the number of needles or Hayan. This brother just started to take off his hat, saying that he is far away, Lee Somang's younger brother, who is the two handsome brothers of this family, likes a girl who looks like Hayan. After hearing this, she forbade this brother to call herself a special pest, and just entered the familiar shop. The owner of the restaurant also had to admire because this brother looked so handsome. Hayan asked, only to find out that Suman Sr. had studied abroad, which made her a little worried at that time. But it was also a little surprising because the senior had a younger brother like this, far away and suddenly unsuccessful. My friend was beaten by my sister earlier, and I felt like I had a brain injury. But Hayan didn't hit it, the art was exposed, my brother just leaned on Hayan's shoulder like that. I was absolutely on my side. I believe that she did not do such cases. Meanwhile, Junhee goes to Jenna's house to play, telling her that she is about to receive a gift. Jenna was immediately called by her father to the company. The reason why her father called her here today was to announce the divorce between him and her mother. It was only because of a woman who worked as a contract teacher in the school that he did this much, that Jenna asked her mother at home, who was addicted to alcohol and was depressed. Who is it all about? She was immediately turned off by her father in a painful blow. Even if you are a family member, you should not exceed the limit. Then he asked someone to prepare a car to take his daughter out of here. I came and I also saw the news that Jenna's parents had divorced. As soon as I looked down, I immediately saw that this friend was trying to cross the street, afraid that Jenna would do something drooling. Hayan hurriedly pulled her back. It turned out that Jenna needed to go to her mother as soon as possible, fearing that she would commit suicide because of the divorce, from the moment she got into the taxi. Jenna tried to call her mother but couldn't, and when she got there, she immediately went to her mother's treatment room. Ask why mom doesn't answer the phone, who is a person with severe depression plus the dangers of drinking. Jenna knocked her mother's wine glass away, then slowly sat down and asked why her mother agreed to divorce Mrs. Goat when he could only hug his daughter. Tell me never to fall down and fall in love like her. Also, don't lose anything in your hands. Waiting for Jenna for 3 hours, She just got off the place and was immediately picked up by her father in the car. "Hey, I don't have to wait for you here for hours to get tired." When she got home, Jenna could only hide the medicine bottle in a drawer and then lie down and think. Because of this, Junhee came to see Jenna and warned her about her mentally ill mother. "These rumors and a half," Jenna asked Junhee what she wanted me to do. Junhee recounted how Jenna used to spread rumors about her lover like this. Rumors of Gujin going to bed promiscuously with anyone he meets. Saying that, Junhee asked Jenna if she had received the gift she had given her. Junhee spreads a rumor, making Jenna the subject of disciplinary review due to school violence. However, Jenna is still not afraid, saying that she also has a secret about Junhee that is not a rumor. Who is Kim Hyeon's student who pushed him down from the rooftop? "I think I know. It's true that the upper of the shoe has sharp steel nails." Hyeon, after arriving at school, she receives the news that her father is mopping the floor in the teacher's office, so she immediately runs there. She only saw her friend screaming because her father was kneeling in front of the family of victim Soon. She didn't want her father to apologize to this person's family just because she didn't do anything wrong. She told Hyeon, "Calling your mother to come here to work," and she lost control even more. How dare this bastard mention the deceased? To put Hyeon's feet in peace, her teacher pulled her aside, talking about how if you don't reconcile, your crime will definitely be recorded in your school report. Then in the future, when I go to work, no place will accept me, under the pressure of someone who has money and my future. The new Hyeon had to kneel down and apologize. It's true that not having money is a sin, but Hyeon is determined to make having money a sin. Meanwhile, at the airport, a new student in the Diamond 6 group has also returned home. On the way back, he also briefly investigated the scene of Bak Jenna. The rumbling in her house seemed to make this friend feel good. Rumors about Jenna's family having an affair have also been posted online by a person called Black Dog. He seemed to not know how to be in Vietnam, uncovering the secrets in the world. Specifically, the teacher at school is having an affair with the chairman of Han Myung Group. Everyone believed that Jenna's position at school was also gradually unstable. Don't let anything bad happen during his tenure. Fortunately, the chairman's nephew stopped by, so he didn't give Jeansoft a match. He came here because of his father's business. Chairman Do told me that if I have anything, I will tell my uncle that it will help me. However, as soon as he left, he wiped his hands again to show contempt for this Diamond 6 friend. After meeting his uncle, Doon also went to see Jenna and asked her to apologize to him. Because of the incident that night, she made Gujin and Doon go crazy and almost fought. But Jenna had nothing to apologize to anyone. I must have felt very happy when I saw Jenna's situation in this situation, and at school she was looked down on by her classmates. When Jenna got home, she immediately met the teacher who had had an affair with her father. She hadn't even bothered to say hello to Jenna, and then told her that she had cleaned her mother's room. After all, sooner or later it will be Jenna's brother's room. She advised Jenna to get used to it soon because she was her brother after all. On the outside, the third person who destroys the family is cold. But as soon as she entered the room, Jenna couldn't hold back her rage, threw the cup and had to use it as an antidepressant. Hyeon on the way home immediately saw her father trying to work as a delivery worker at a convenience store. Although he was tired, he still tried to encourage his daughter. Even if there is a curry at home that he has already made, he is just waiting for his children to come home to eat. Seeing her father like this, Hyeon immediately went to meet her sister at the wishing shop, asking if she had any experience of being sued. Si-eun's family members had already made Hyeon feel extremely tired. Hyeon felt that the black things that always happened to her were because she didn't know her identity and dared to enter the school in this passion. Coincidentally, the distant brother is also here, telling Hyeon that if she wants to be safe, she should participate in Diamond 6. Because no matter what crime she commits, as long as she is in that group of 6 people, the law will not be able to do anything for Hyeon. So in order to be able to apply to join the group, only those who have money can join. Hyeon had to call Jenna, begging her to come here to see her because she was in need of help. Jenna couldn't get out of the house. Instead, she told Hyeon to come to her house to talk about it directly. When she arrived at Jenna's house, what caught Hyeon's eyes was the scene of a servant who was like a king that only the elite could have. Jenna just pulled Hyeon to the next room. She said that this was not a request, but Hyan wanted to make a deal with Jenna about this contract. Hyan said that she would give Jenna Hyan's necklace. She sincerely pleaded that if Jenna didn't help her, her life would be lost. However, day by day, what Hyan wants to participate in Diamond 6 is also a bit difficult. Jenna wants something that must be really valuable. Only then can she guarantee Hyan to participate in Diamond 6. Not knowing what to look for something of value in exchange, the one that immediately caught Hyan's eye was Jenna's stepmother. She quickly recorded a video of the Mingi teacher's talk. It turned out that the child in her womb belonged to her ex-lover, not to Chairman Bach. Since returning home, the student Cha Minik has attracted many girls just because he looks like his father. Seeing that Jenna and Hyan were talking about trading, this friend also joined in the fun, saying that Jenna looked normal in real life. She just wondered who he was? Minguk just reminded Jenna to dress a little better tomorrow and then come. Jenna wondered to Hyan, not knowing what he was talking about. On her way home from class, Junhee's friend passed by without forgetting to tell her about the presence of a third person in Jenna's house. After all, it's your brother sooner or later. It seems that Junhee is still not afraid when Jenna knows that she is the one who pushed Hyan down. However, Hyan is still not dead. Junhee asks if he is still in the second hospital. When I came home, Hyan walked past a friend in a red uniform, making her feel a little familiar. When she got home, she only found her father lying asleep on the table. It turned out that the uniform she had just seen was the uniform that Hyan had worn. Then she was filmed by everyone and then held in front of everyone, until her neck was peeled off and Hyan woke up. It turned out to be just a nightmare. Because she couldn't sleep, Hyan sat down to edit the video she recorded from teacher Min-hee. Use it as an exchange item to be able to participate in the Diamond 6 Guild, protecting your own safety. After finishing editing, she asks Jenna to go to a warehouse and gives her the necklace she got from her friend Hyan, who was pushed down the floor by Junhee. However, this is still not enough for Jenna to make a transaction. At this time, Hyan took out the recording that she recorded at Jenna's house from the night of the deprivation. It was teacher Min-hee who admitted that the child in her womb was not President Beck's, and Jenna asked if this was worth talking to her about. While the teacher he still didn't know anything about herself being overthrown by the evidence that Hyan collected from the garage that day, until the evening. It turns out that what Jean Guk told Jenna the other day was the meeting where the two met again. Chairman Beck wants his daughter to marry the son of their father's family. Jenna was just mad at her father. If it was because of this, there would be no need to discuss anything today. Jean Guk's father asked his father and the president to go out to meet Jenna, telling her that he was not comfortable when he arrived in Korea and was dragged into a marriage. But it wasn't so much that I had to scream. You and I were both stepping on the chessboard that those old men had already laid out. Whether it was a chess piece or a chess player, Jean Guk asked Jenna if she shouldn't think about this at all. On the way back, Jean Guk's father laughed and talked about the case of the Beck family's daughter because her father was engrossed in love, and asked his son to try to coax their daughter to see this time. Jean Guk's father wants him to come here to prove himself to everyone, because he is more special than his useless brother at home. As soon as he got home, Jean Guk's mother called and asked how the situation was in the country. He also recounted the incident of going out to eat today with the chairman of the Han Myung group, including Beck Jenna. He told his mother to rest assured, because my son had not played any game and could lose. Not to mention that this time back home, everything makes Jean Guk feel quite interesting. At night, he went to see President Hegon, asking him why Jenna was still able to go out there, while her father was having an affair with the school teacher. He wanted the chairman to follow his word, and the next steps were already predetermined. However, the fact that he came here was also reported to Jenna by the president. She said that her president also had something to talk to him, and he needed to talk to him directly at school. The very next day, the incident that Jenna wanted to tell him was that Kim Hyan's case was not a suicide but a murder. Everything would explode immediately. The president will definitely lose his position as well. The new chairman asked what if he accepted the position. Jenna will consider the Han Myung Group to remain the largest donor of the Chongji Foundation, and he will also retain his current position. Saying that, she left Hai's necklace printed on the table as proof of trust. After Jenna left, the chairman immediately called Jin Sob, asking him to delete all the investigation files on Hyan, and to go to the gathering of Diamond Six's team. The eldest brother was unexpectedly also a member of this group, and he introduced himself as the youngest brother who had just joined. June, he didn't want to be in the same place with Jenna, telling everyone to study quickly, but staying for a long time was very uncomfortable. The last person in the group to come was Jean Guk's father's friend, a new transfer student, and everyone wondered why Jenna didn't introduce someone new. Jean Guk said that if it was money or status, he would be more than able to respond, but if everyone wanted to report it. Jenna said that there is one more member who is coming here. One of the conditions to enter Diamond 6 is to make a big contribution. And the person who has almost no contribution is the capital. Maybe his place should be ceded to someone else. And the new member of Diamond 6 is Kim Hye-in.